Hi, I'm Bert Kinnister, and this is Volume 11 in my ongoing quest to make you a better pool player. This is Advanced Fundamentals. By Advanced Fundamentals, I mean this is a tape for people who've been playing pool for several years, have reached an impasse in their game, and are stalled and they can't figure out why. Most people began playing pool as children, and if you shot in 200 or 300 balls as a child, you developed a style and a stroke that is not appropriate to your size now. 90% of the people that come to me have a fundamental problem that keeps them from progressing in their game. That's what we're going to address here today. This is probably the most important tape that you've ever looked at to get your pool game jump started. What we're going to really work on here is alignment and stroke. If you've got good alignment, then your stroke is almost a given. Now we got to put your shoulders, your elbow, your arm, your trunk, your waist, and your hips all where they need to be, and we're going to create a stroke for you that's going to make you be able to do things you never thought you could. We're going to get you out of that rut. We're going to get you playing real pool. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is the exercise that I've developed to give you the perfect fundamentals for you has absolutely worked for every human being that I've used, and it's dozens and dozens of people that I've given perfect fundamentals with these exercises. Now, the thing you've got to understand, if you've been reading books and that's how you've learned to play pool, they'll tell you to stand at a 45-degree angle, and they'll tell you to only move your elbow, and a variety of other things that I don't agree with, because there is no consistent rules that will apply to each of us individually. We are all different sizes, we are all different shapes, and our approach to the pool table, our stance at the pool table, dependent upon our own anatomy, is going to be different from everyone else's. Now, the exercises that I've got here are guaranteed to absolutely work, is the good news. The bad news is they take a little bit of time. The exercises that we're going to put you through here are the exercises that I put people through down here in the studio when they come from all over the world. Every human that I've dealt with has been able to accomplish the task that I'm about to give you. Now, what I'm going to want you to do is I want you to understand the mechanics of this stroke. Everybody has got a perfect line. Your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist are nothing more than collapsible hinges. Just collapsible hinges. I could build a machine out of wood with collapsible hinges like Iron Willie. That's some people that made a new cue have built a machine. All he is a machine with collapsible hinges. If we put this robot, it's made out of 2x4s and hinges, in the proper spot on this table, and then we draw this cue back and let go, it just swings through the ball and pockets this ball perfectly. The thing that you need to understand is the reasons that we want to remove your muscular involvement from your pool game. Think about what I'm going to tell you now. If we wanted to pocket this 8-ball in the corner and we had a skeleton on a stand, and we had a cue stick in his hand, we could align this skeleton in such a way that all I would have to do is draw his hand back and let it go, and it would go perfectly through the cue ball and pocket the 8-ball in the corner. That would be the perfect alignment for that particular skeleton. If we got another skeleton at different size, different height, different lengths of arms, he would be differently aligned in order to accomplish this task. Now, to shoot this ball in the corner pocket with just a skeleton, we wouldn't aim him with our arms. We would aim him with our body. With his body, we would put the feet in the proper position to align the skeleton so that all we had to do was draw his arm back and let it drop forward to pocket the ball. What I want you to know here is that inside all of us there is a skeleton, and it's the skeleton that does the work. The skeleton is the mechanical machine. When you correct for poor alignment with your stroke steering, you've taken the skeleton out of the process, and you've replaced it with hundreds of nerve endings, with all kinds of muscles, many things that can go wrong. So what we want to do from the pool game, more than anything else, is we want to relax, we want to remove muscle from the game, and we want our alignment to be perfect. Now you want to know, how do we get our alignment to be perfect? This is the way we do it. And it has worked for every single human being. What I want you to do is I want you to get your pool cue, and I want you to find its exact center of balance. I want you to hold it in your hand, just so it lays in your hand, perfectly balanced. Now I want you to relax your hand at your side. I just want it to lay there at your side. Now what I want you to see, most people will come and they will address this ball when they're ready to hit it. They'll be standing like this looking at it, and they will twist. Okay, see this? They twist. They twist into this alignment. Now if you stand up, if these people stand up, hold this thing perfectly at their in front of them, and they just let themselves relax, look what it does. Look what it does. I'm just letting it lay there. This is my line. I don't twist into my line. If I twist into my line, as 90% of the pool players in the world do, what I'm doing is I'm putting all the muscles, the nerve endings, in my trunk, in my body, in my shoulder, in my arm. Everything is contorted with my skeleton. This is like taking my skeleton, and instead of lining him up where I can just pull back the cue stick and drop it through, I'm twisting him. And so I've got to hold him twisted in this position and hold him twisted in this position, and that's what the muscles do. Now, we are not naturally lined up. Gravity is not putting one bone on top of another, and we're not able to just drop the pendulum through there. What we have to do is we have to learn what the perfect alignment for our own body types is. How do we get our skeleton on this perfect line where all we have to do is draw back and drop through? This is how we do it. We get very comfortable, and we get used to this, and we don't lie to ourselves. We don't cheat and keep twisting into it, want to hit these balls too fast. We get used to walking around a table. Spend some time, walk around a table. Be very, very comfortable with this cue stick in your hand. When you get up here to shoot this ball now, this is one-handed. One-handed. You don't twist in to shoot it. You move your feet. You move your feet. You move your feet. You move your feet until you're standing. Look where I'm facing. I'm facing off over here. But look what's happening here. I'm starting to get a perfect line between the cue ball and my object ball. I'm looking off into space over here. My feet aren't like everybody else's feet. Wherever you need to be so that you can stand comfortably, and this cue stick is on a line through the center of that cue ball to the center of that 8-ball to the pocket, this begins to be your perfect alignment. If you get down on this ball now, if you stand with the Q-tip over the ball a little bit about where you'd like to follow through, and then step back, all right, we're still on this line, see my cue stick, and then you move back down forward. As you move forward, this will come back to the same position where you want it to go through. Now, an amazing thing happens to people that we have do this exercise. They start out real stiff, and they don't think they can pocket a ball one-handed. And they'll be stiff, and they'll be twisted. But what we do here, and what I want you to do at home, if you are serious about this, listen to me. In the world, there are three kinds of people. There's talkers, there's dreamers, and there are doers. Only the doers get paid. Everybody else is supported by the doers. If you want to get paid at this game, do what I'm telling you now. This is an average of a 6 to 7 hour process. It is always worked. What I'm going to want you to do is line up on this ball one-handed, and I'm going to want you to go down, and I'm going to want you to shoot this ball in one-handed. If you come back 4, you go through 4. Now what you're going to do is continue to do this. It helps if you have a friend help you with this. You can do it yourself until you pocket 10 in a row, straight in, one-handed. Sounds impossible. Every human that's all you see on the walls here has thought it would be impossible for them. After 15 or 20 minutes, this stiff person starts to move down. His body naturally starts to accommodate him. He's going to become lower and lower until he's exactly perfect where he has to be. If he forces himself to do it 10 times, it can't be done by accident 10 times. The amount of concentration that you have to bring to bear in order to do this 10 times in a row is the same type and amount of concentration a top player, Nick Varner, brings to every single shot. What you're learning to do is be mentally tough. And as you get involved with pocketing these balls one-handed, your body will begin to accommodate you. Your body will start to go down. And instead of some stiff, non-believing, non-playing pool player just whacking at these balls, you're going to come down on these balls, and you're going to start looking like the predator that most pool players really are. Now, to pocket 10 in a row here, you've got to be as tough mentally as you're going to become physically. And I'm telling you, it's about a 6-hour process. Force yourself to do it. The rewards are tremendous. When you get up here and you miss a ball, and you miss another ball, and you miss another ball, what's going on is your brain is loading information. This didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work. Americans, as Americans, we're all very self-indulgent individuals, and we won't be tough enough to pocket 10 of these in a row because we're all fed and all of this, so we don't have to do it. Give me 6 hours today. Do this until you hit a 10 in a row. When you get down and you finally decide to quit messing around with the shot and go ahead and hit this ball in 10 in a row, you're going to feel like a real pool player. When you've knocked it in 9 in a row and you got number 10 in front of you, the pressure on shooting number 10 in is the same pressure that Nick Varner feels when he's shooting in the last ball at the biggest tournament in the world. Same pressure Efren Reyes feels when he's shooting in the last ball of the best tournament in the world. That is the pressure that if you want to play this game, that's the pressure you've got to learn. Not only to overcome, but to enjoy. You've got to welcome that pressure and then know that you can deal with it. You'll learn a lot about yourself as a human being doing this. And you find out if you're really serious about playing pool, because this creates the very perfect fundamentals of fundamental alignment. You'll see that you cannot do this unless your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist are in a dead straight line. If you cut them in half, you would also cut the cue in half. You can't have any bad alignment. This loans the alignment that you need to do to play really good pool. Dead straight, right down the hole. Now what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to show you, if you have a friend, how you can accomplish this, and it's a lot easier if you can do it with 2 people and you have somebody, a coach, somebody that's egging you on it, are you or aren't you? Will you or won't you? Some do, some don't, some will and some won't. Be a door, be a door. I'm going to bring Ed in. Some of you remember Ed from some of the other tapes.
How you doing?
Ed's been one of my students.